I'm here today in my capacity as an electrical contractor also, and the problem is a lot of people have been addressing to me high electrical bills. I mean, I get this all the time, really. You may not see what I see because people are always calling me, hey, something going on with my power. My bill is rising. It's a lot of issues that go on with your home or your rental property also that cause your electrical bill to go up or down. And I'm not going to get into the specifics right now. If you have an issue, you can always hit me up in the comments and I'll do my best to address whatever issue you have. But I'm here as a contractor talking about the general rise in electrical rates. Now, I don't care what state you watching me from in the United States, but inside the United States, everybody's power bill is rising. Now, I'm going to tell you why. Now you can avoid reality, as I said in one of my previous video, but just remember, truth is rejected because it requires change. Now, power generation in the United States. We generate our own power, thankfully. And, I've been to several power plants. And power generation in the United States, primarily comes from natural gas, really. So 42.3%, as they say, of power generated in the United States is based on natural gas. Nuclear is about 18% and coal is about 15%. Now you got contributions from wind, what we call renewable resources, about 10%, and solar is about 5%. Think about what I'm saying. Natural gas, which is where we get significant amount of our power from, is traded on the open market, right? Coal is traded on the open market. Okay, nuclear power is not, right? But, recognize, I don't want to, go too deep into it because I might lose you. But nuclear power is good because it's not something, they can sell the power, but they can't sell nuclear. Now, natural gas is traded on the open market. And when you use a fuel like natural gas or coal that's traded on the open market, then energy prices rise based on political and world considerations. Now, think about what I'm saying. The United States is the number one oil producer in the world, right? We produce over 13 million barrels a day. We number one, right? Now, we the world's largest LNG exporter, liquid natural gas, right? People use liquid natural gas because it's easier to transport. Natural gas needs to be transported by a pipeline, but liquefied natural gas burns cleaner, right? And we can sell it to other countries after we bring it up out of the ground. But it's still a commodity that we sell. Right now, if you're paying me $20 for a pack of cigarettes, let's just use cigarettes as an example. Nobody smokes much anymore. Let's say you're paying me $20 for a pack of cigarettes. Well, that's all good, and I'm making a good profit on that $20. Well, Bob over here, overseas, I can sell him for $50 a pack. Right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jack your price up to $50 because I really don't care if you buy or not. I know you got to have them cigarettes because you're addicted, just like you're addicted to oil. Just like you got to put that oil in your gas tank, just like me, right? So I know that you're going to have to pay the 50 that Bob going to pay anyway. and I sell it to him for $50 and raise your price. Why would I sell it to you for less? You mean just because I'm American and I get it from you and from our country? Corporations don't think like that. They don't have an allegiance to American. They can holler about American first all they want to, but they taking the fuel, they pumping the oil out of the ground here in the United States and selling it overseas for a profit. Now, when you selling this commodity and it rises and falls based on the market, that means your electricity gonna rise and fall. And the thing about electricity that I hadn't got into yet is that it's a monopoly, right? Now, I know here in South Carolina and in the upstate and North Carolina and Georgia, and a lot of other states too, Duke Energy. Right? And then when you get on down, they call it Dominion Energy. Right? Well, those companies, that company owns the oil, the electrical generation plants, and they own the natural gas generation plants. Cool. So, which is a sweet deal, really, because we're paying them for the natural gas that they use to generate the electricity that they charge us. That's sweet, right? Because they're a monopoly. They don't have any competition. So we have to pay, right? And we won't nationalize, even though we should nationalize the power supply so that it won't be so subjected to attack, but we don't think like that because we've been conditioned, we've been educated under the commerce way of thinking, capitalism. That's our way of thinking. So, we don't think that it's gonna be best for everybody to have a stable electrical supply. So, which means that, the more money you have to spend, the more stable your electrical supply will be. And if Duke Energy decides to go up on the price, it's really nothing you can do about it because you either buy from them or you don't buy. That's how it goes. And we have to recognize that. They have a monopoly, and their monopoly controls our lives. Now, why would you let one company control your electrical supply? That's because the people who sit on those boards, they're already paid. You might not want to think about it like that, but like I say, I'm an electrical contractor. I deal with these people all the time. These people are already paid. They done sold us out. I'm just one guy. But I'm telling you, they have sold us out. And you're okay with them selling you out. Now, maybe you might kick against the high price of electricity because it's going to keep on climbing. It ain't going to go down. It's going to go up. And I can give you a prime example of something that, you'll think is a trip. But let me tell you this. A few years ago, everybody switched over to the LED light bulbs, right? And even so much so that the power company was sending them to you for free so you could install them in your house. Now, I know as an electrical contractor that when you compare an incandescent light bulb to an LED light bulb, it ain't really no comparison. It uses a third of the power that the incandescent light bulb used, the traditional light bulb. LED uses a third of the power and it lights 5 times as long, really. So you're not even changing light bulbs that much. Okay, but now they did this to save power and you use less energy. So check this out. If you're using less energy because you done converted over to LED, how come your power bill going up? You're using less, which means that they're generating less. So what they're actually doing is generating less energy, but charging you more for it and telling you that it's the rising price of natural gas. And you're going for it. You know, and they have commissions that they go before, and they have to go before these commissions and say, okay, well, we want to raise the price, and we want to raise the price because A, B, and C. Okay. Them commissions paid, bro. And you don't realize that. But we steady paying more for the increase of gas. So yeah, they against nationalizing the electrical system, you know, even though it's a monopoly. Because it don't matter what area or country you in, it's a monopoly. If you in Texas, everybody in Texas got the same power company. Okay, now it's even sweeter than that. I'm going into too much detail, I know, but it's even sweeter than that because in South Carolina, at least in the upstate, you know, you got Broad River Co-op, you got Lawrence Electric, you know, you got Blue Ridge, you know, you got all these different cooperatives, but it don't matter because they buy their power from Duke Energy. So they just fooling you into believing that it's competition when it's really not. Okay, because the person who controls all the power is Duke Energy. Or if you're in the lower state, it's Dominion Energy. And they control the natural gas supply too. So when you realize that your power bill is going up, it's gonna keep going up, bro. It ain't gonna stop going up. It ain't gonna never go down. Now the question becomes, what are you going to do about it? Because truth is rejected because it requires change. And my advocating, I've been showing you all these numbers on my YouTube channel. The politicians have to be held accountable because they're in control of the money that's going out of our pockets. Okay, they're in control. We have to rise up as voters in this United States and do something. Or maybe you just like them stealing your money. After all, you know, if I can steal your money and make you like it, I'm doing pretty good.